Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I made a double tiered wedding cake recently, and I decided to film it for you guys, and specifically film how to stack a double tiered cake, whether it's a birthday cake, whether it's a wedding cake, how to properly stack a double tiered cake without it bending or tilting to one side, or having it not leveled, or having the top tier pressing down on the bottom tier and creating bulges. How to properly tier a double tiered cake. So this video is for you if that's what you want to see, especially for beginners. So let's get started. If you notice, I kind of slowed down this part of the video because this is the most important part. The most important part is building structure for your cake to stay on top. It is not just putting the cake on top of the smaller cake. Okay, so if you notice what I'm doing right now, you can see two holes, two prints already on the cake. So I'm making two more on either side of those, so that's four. If you notice, the other two, they're already straws inside because that was what I used to hold my cake to be upright in the first place. Okay, so what you want to do is to create four lines, kind of like a square in the middle of your cake. And so in between that square, you want to in between each line of each square, I don't know if I'm making sense, you want to move outward a little bit, maybe 1 or 2 centimeters, and then make another imprint there. So that way you're making a square that has 3 points with equal spacing between them. Did that make any sense? Initially you want to make a square, yeah, and then once you have made that square, in between on the middle of the oh, what am I saying, Jesus? Okay guys, I'm so sorry. Let's try this again. Yeah, I think once I put in the straws, you're going to see the lines I made more properly, so that way maybe I can explain it better to you guys. What you want to do initially is to make a square, form a square that is right in the middle of your bottom tier, yeah. And then once you have that square, squares have 4 sides, 4 equal sides. So on each side, you want to pinpoint the middle of that side and then move 2 centimeters to 3 centimeters, depending on the size of your bottom of your top tier, outward a little bit. I don't know if it makes any sense. For each line of the square, there are four lines, yeah. You want to pinpoint the middle of that line, yes, and you want to move outward a little bit, so that way you have oh, I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, that's what I'm doing right now. So I open, I place the straws. You guys are going to notice what I'm doing. If you notice what I'm doing, yeah, there are 2 spaces that I already have straws in, and that was because that was what I used to stabilize my cake initially. And if you notice how I'm spacing these straws, yeah, you want it to stick out a little bit. And how you measure it sticking out is by take your straw, yeah, watch how I stick this one in. So take your straw and make sure you stick the not the tapered end, the normal end first. The tapered end should be on top. So take your bubble straw and then stick it downward straight. Make sure it's not bent and it's not slanty. Straight down, and then push it carefully. So when you're sure you've reached the bottom, use your scissors to touch. Make sure your scissors are touching your bottom tier as well as the straw. Do you understand? So that way when you cut, everyone you cut will be at the same angle, the same length. There won't be anyone that is taller than the other, because that is what you want to do. You want to make sure you position your scissors so well that it touches the top of the cake. Do you understand? That way you won't cut so much above your straw. Now if you notice what I'm doing now, I kind of have 3 lines on one side and 3 lines on the other side, and you don't have to guess. You can see the 2 lines in between. So the reason why you can't see any straws there is because there are already straws there that you stabilize my cake, like I said initially. So this is what you want to do. If you notice, we haven't put anything in the middle. We're going to be putting a proper wooden dowel in the middle, because that is what is going to hold our cake in place. So now that we've finished creating structure to the bottom tier, you want to make sure the dowel you're using is not taller than your bottom tier and your top tier together, otherwise it will be sticking out. So you want to make sure you measure that, maybe with a ruler, or just, you know, just eyeball it like I'm doing right here. So you want to, if there is extra length, just make sure you cut some of it off so that it won't stick out of your cake, because you don't want, after you've placed your small tier on top of the other one, for there to be like, you know, like a stick sticking out in the middle. Yeah, okay. So if you notice, now we have like 4 lines, 4 squares, this way, this way, this way, this way. I don't know, I just hope you understand me. Anyways, so now that we're done creating structure at the bottom side, we want to make sure we cut our wooden skewer to the length that is proportionate to the bottom tier as well as the top tier, because you don't want it to be sticking out. Okay, so while we do that, I want you guys to take a look at the top tier. You can see like some indents on top of it. Yes, you can see some indents while stocking straw. So when you're stocking your cake, you want to make sure you like build structure. I don't know if you get what I mean. You don't want it to fall apart, so you want to make sure you build structure and it's standing upright. That way, those straws, what they do is that they help your cake stand upright, and like it will, like, you won't have as many accidents as you would have had normally. Okay, so if you want to see a video on how I did that with one of my cakes, I think I did that with a cream cake. I'm going to put the link, the card right up here. It says click on me. Yeah, you can click on that. So I'm not sure I'll put it immediately, but for the end of the week I'll put it. Okay, so we're going to be taking our after we've decided what length we want our dowel to be. Remember, you don't want your dowel to be longer than both cakes, otherwise it's to stick out. So you want to cut out, just mark the part you want to cut out, and then take your, you know, I have this tool I used to cut. I don't know what it's called. I actually went to the store and told the guy that I would like to cut wood. And so what can cut wood? So I don't know the name, and I don't know how you can get it. And like, I didn't get it from a bookshop. I got it from like, you know, those stores that sell like men workshop stuff. Yeah, that's where I got it from. Okay, so you want to make imprint so it will be easy for you to just cut off. So you want to make sure the imprint you're putting is like, you know, going round one point. So not like one part is like longer than the other and stuff. So you want to cut that off. So once we are done, we're going to stick our dowel in the middle. Okay, I don't know if maybe I'm just blabbing or if you understand what I'm saying. The reason why I like to explain in my videos is because when I first started cake decorating, I had no choice but to learn from YouTube, because that was like the only source that was easy and cheap, and like easy and free basically. And one of the problems I had was like most cake decorators then were not really explaining, so like it's left to me to figure out what something is called. Like, I don't even know what it's called, talk less of how to buy it. I don't know if you understand. So I try to explain for you guys in my video so it can be a little bit easier for you. Okay, so if you notice, I already stuck the dowel into the middle, and you want it to be straight down. Yeah, you want it to be straight down. You don't want it to be, you know, too tall or to be bending or slanting, because that will affect your cake. So now once you're done, you want to take some white chocolate or royal icing. In this case, I'm using royal icing, if you notice, and you want to put it round. And you want to put it round roughly, because the roughness will help your cake stick better. I'm not explaining. You don't have to maybe smoothen it down and maybe, you know, press it down and everything. The roughness of, you know, just the roughness of the application will help your cake stick better. I don't know the science behind that, but trust me, it works. So once you're done applying that, you want to lift your top tier, and what you want to make sure you do is try to make sure you know which part is the back of your cake, of your bottom tier, and which part is the back of your top tier, and make sure they line up, because you want the back of the cake to be the back of the cake and the front of the cake to be the front of the cake before you place your top tier on top of your bottom tier. That way, like, you won't have placed it and be thinking of, okay, how will I do it? Another thing I like to do when I'm trying to dowel a cake like this is to wear gloves. Number one, it's more hygienic, because that way you're touching the cake directly. Like when I'm trying to cover a cake in fondant, I wear gloves. When I'm trying to, when you're trying to do intricate work, basically, you should wear gloves. And when I'm trying to lift this cake to put on the other cake, the reason is because your hands sweat a lot. You might not know, but like some people do not sweat as much as others, but the moisture from your hand will show on the cake. I don't know if it makes sense. So it's best if you wear a glove, or you just use something to cover your hand while you place it. So the next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you place it in the middle. Once it's in the middle, just press it down and try to smoothen it as much as possible, and you are done. Like, it is very easy. The most important part is to make sure you build structure first in the beginning with your dowels or with your straws, depending on what you want to use. It is actually just placing the cake on it is the easiest part. Yeah. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed this video and it's useful to you. Thank you, and I will see you in my future tutorials. Bye.